The Treasurer is calling on companies to do more to kickstart productivity by investing in new technologies. Let's go live to Eliza Edwards with us now, our political reporter, for more on this. And the Treasurer is basically calling on businesses to reinvest in their own growth.
That's right, Kieran. Josh Frydenberg used a speech to the Business Council this morning to really push the case for raising Australia's productivity by 0.4% over the next decade, saying that that will increase economic growth by $70 billion and result in a $3,000 pay rise for workers. To achieve this, he really laid down a challenge to businesses, calling on them to invest in new technologies rather than handing cash to shareholders through share buybacks and capital returns. He questioned whether that practice is the right approach.
It's becoming the default option for companies to buy back their shares, whereas if it's appropriate, we'd rather see that money invested in the business, in new assets, in new capital equipment, in growing. And that would obviously be good news for the company in the medium and the long term, good news for shareholders, and ultimately good news for the Australian economy overall.
Labor has been critical of the Treasurer's speech. Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers says that the government is deflecting blame for slow economic growth.
Today we've seen from Josh Frydenberg yet another speech which is long on finger pointing and short of a plan. Just telling business they need to invest more is not an economic policy. Time and time again from this Liberal government, we see ministers like Josh Frydenberg spending all of their time pointing the finger and none of their time coming up with a plan to actually turn things around.
And Eliza, in Canberra today, doctors involved in implementing the Medivac legislation have been appearing before senators.
That's right, Kieran. This committee is examining how the Medivac laws have been operating since they came into effect earlier this year. The new rules passed Parliament against the government's wishes, and the coalition has been focused since then on repealing that legislation. That move has already passed the House of Representatives, but will need crossbench approval in the Senate. Labor and the Greens remain opposed. Centre Alliance is inclined not to repeal the legislation, while Jackie Lambie is yet to declare her hand. Various doctors and human rights groups are giving evidence to this Senate committee today, and one of those includes former independent MP Karen Phelps, who helped to push the laws through Parliament. She says that people in detention will die if Australia reverts to the old system of medical transfers.
As doctors, we fear a return to a slow, unpredictable and dangerous transfer system and further unnecessary deaths. Senators, you have an opportunity to back the medical profession and to help my colleagues to continue to save lives without any threat to national security.
We're expecting representatives from the Home Affairs Department to also give evidence at this Senate committee hearing this week, Kieran.